Welcome back, everyone, to the smartest year ever, our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalists. My name is Gordy, hello, and this week is Accidental Genius Week, where we're looking at world-changing breakthroughs that were never the original plan. So I was just wondering, how did a failed attempt to replace bug resin end up launching the entire plastics industry? Like and subscribe right now if you haven't, so you can keep up every single day. I do this every single day. In the early 1900s, a Belgian-American chemist named Leo Baekeland was trying to solve a very specific problem. Electrical insulation was expensive. The go-to material at the time was shellac, a natural resin secreted by lac bugs on trees in India and Southeast Asia. It worked, but it was pricey, brittle, and supply chains were understandably a nightmare. So Bakeland set out to make something synthetic, something cheap and stable that could replace shellac as an electrical insulator. He started messing around with phenol and formaldehyde, hoping to create a soft resin-like substance. He did not get that, though. What he got was something strange. When he pushed the chemical reaction a little further past the stage where it was still soft and gummy, he got a hard, rigid solid. It didn't melt, it didn't conduct electricity, and it didn't fall apart under heat or pressure. It could be poured into molds while hot, and then once it's set, it stayed set. Bakeland had accidentally invented the world's first fully synthetic plastic. He called it Bakelite. Before Bakelite, the only plastics were things like celluloid and gutta percha, materials technically moldable but still made from natural substances like cellulose or latex. I talked a little bit about gutta percha in my episode about the first transatlantic cable that went under the ocean, and that was an April 30th episode. But Bakelite was different. It wasn't derived from anything organic. It was made entirely from raw chemicals. Yay! And this was the birth of modern plastic as we know it. And it took off, as you'd imagine. He patented the material in 1909 and spent the next decade developing industrial applications for it. Bakelite was tough, it was heat resistant, cheap to mass produce, and unlike modern plastics, Bakelite didn't melt. It was a thermosetting plastic, unlike modern thermoplastic. So once it hardened, that was it. Like heat wouldn't soften it and time wouldn't really break it down. It was used in telephones, radios, light switches, car parts, jewelry, goggles, kitchenware, military gear, even guns. If you've ever seen an old rotary phone or a World War II era radio dial by any chance, there's a good chance that you've seen Bakelite. I think my grandparents used to have an old rotary phone, so count me as a Bakelite seer. It looked futuristic too, It came in rich browns, reds, and greens, and it could be polished to shine. Designers loved it, manufacturers loved it, consumers loved it. Bakelite was called the material of 1,000 uses, and it really was. It shaped the look and the feel of the early 20th century. Bakelite ruled from the 1920s through the 1940s, but by the 1950s, softer, cheaper plastics took over, and Bakelite started fading into history. Eventually, it got overtaken by things like PVC, polyethylene, and acrylics, and these were even cheaper, more flexible, and easier to color, but Bakelite was the first. It was the prototype. And here's why it was included in Accidental Genius Weeks, because Bakeland wasn't trying to invent plastic at all. He just wanted a shellac substitute. Shellac, that's a great word. Shellac. Sorry. But yeah, he was just aiming for soft, and he got hard, which is an elementary school presentation nightmare. And when he saw how stable and heat resistant Bakelite was, he didn't walk away. He just leaned right in. And today, most people under 40 probably never even heard of Bakelite, but they have probably touched it. Like I mentioned in the, if you had grandparents and stuff like that who are from that era. Bakelite items are now actually collectible, especially old jewelry, like radios, phones, things like that. And some designers I read are trying to kind of bring it back. Because unlike modern throwaway plastic, Bakelite was built to last, though. Do not put it in the microwave. Do not microwave it. It is not food safe. It's meant to insulate wires, not reheat leftovers. And from my research, it does also, interestingly, does not seem to contribute as much microplastics as today's modern plastics would, just due to its durability. But there you have it. Leo Baekeland didn't set out to revolutionize the world. He just wanted to insulate some wires. But in the process, he created the world's first synthetic plastic and helped launch a century of plastic everything. That is accidental genius. Doing this, I was thinking, do you think the mass production of plastic was a net positive or a net negative for the world? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Because on one hand, It led to like a bunch of cheap, flimsy, disposable stuff that has now helped create a massive global waste problem. But on the other hand, it also like revolutionized medicine, electronics, transportation, made countless tools and technologies more accessible to people. So yeah, let me know what you think. I think it's an interesting question. And also go check out my sources, which can be found in the YouTube description. Rate, like, subscribe, follow, leave a comment about your thoughts on the question I just asked. And go check out my 1 minute version at Smartest Year Ever everywhere on social media for that 1 minute little condensed clip. And in the meantime, stay curious and stay clever on our quest to become the world's greatest conversationalist. I will see you tomorrow in the smartest year ever. And today was the end of July, so new shirt tomorrow. Churning through episode 212 down. See you tomorrow.